Hello, today we are going to start another lecture, that is endocrinology, that is regarding endocrine system and chemical messengers. What are endocrine system? First of all, we will see its overview. We take some overview, then we take its evolutionary perspective. Then regarding chemical messengers, we will study what are local chemical messenger, neurotransmitter, neuropeptides, hormones and pheromones. How they act we will discuss in the later lectures. What is endocrine system? It is the in addition to nervous and sensory system, many animals have a second slower form of communication and coordination, the endocrine system with its chemical messengers. Endocrine system has chemical messengers for their transmission of message. So we have nervous system, we have sensory nervous system, we have ganglia, we have axons, dendrite system, but with this system we also have endocrine system, which is slower than the sensory system. If we touch the, for example, if we touch the any flask which is present on the flame, it will give in a second to our sensory nervous system, and immediate response we will produce by our body against the stimulus of the hot thing. So endocrine system is the chemical messenger type system of our body regarding stimulus, any stimulus which is created outside or inside our body. The endocrine system is a chemical messenger system consisting of the group of glands that carry hormones directly into the circulatory system to carry towards the distant target organs and to feedback loops of homeostasis that hormones drive. So hormones are released out, and in the circulatory system they produce feedback, and in that feedback responses produced as in the nervous system or sensory system have ever done. Overall, the scientists now recognize the nervous and endocrine systems work together as an all-encompassing communicative and integrative network called neuroendocrine system. Nervous system and endocrine system when work together called as neuroendocrine system. In a feedback mechanism, the chemical messengers in their short and long term coordination of animal body function to maintain homeostasis. What is the endocrinology? Endocrinology is the study of endocrine glands and their hormones called endocrinology. Endocrinology system and evolutionary aspects we will study here, and evolutionary aspects, how they are evaluate or how they evolve. Some scientists suggest that chemical messengers may initially have evolved the single-celled organisms to coordinate feeding or reproduction. As multicellularity evolves, more complex organs also evolved. To grant them many individual coordinates tasks, but control centers relied on the same kind of messengers that were present in the simpler organisms. Some of the messengers were fairly slowly but had long lasting distant effect. These became the modern hormones. So from here we will see that these messengers work as a slower messenger work as modern hormones, other worked as quickly, so they are short period, and they are called local neurotransmitters. They are evolved as a neurotransmitter or short term period as local messengers. They are produced. Clearly, chemical messengers have an ancient origin and must have a conserved for the hundred of millions of years. So chemical messengers have ancient origin. So million of years back its history lie. Okay, evolutionarily new messengers are uncommon. but the old ones are local transmitters, as they evolved as local transmitter, or neurotransmitters, as they are short period, for the short period and quick response they produce. So old messengers are adopted to new purposes. So new messengers are uncommon. For example, some ancient protein hormones are in species ranging from the bacteria to humans. One key to survival for a group of animals is proper timing of activity so that growth, maturation, and reproduction coincide with the time of years, climate, and food supply for our survival. It seems likely to chemical messengers regulating growth and reproduction were among the first to appear. These hormones were probably secretions of the hormones. Later, specific hormones developed to play important regulatory roles in the molting, growth, and metamorphosis and reproduction in various invertebrates. Chemical messengers and their associated secretory structures became even complex with the appearance of vertebrates. So they became complex when the vertebrates evolved. First they are locally created, then molting and growth when metamorphosis occurs. These hormones became specified, and then the appearance of with the appearance of the vertebrates they became more complex. Now we will discuss about the chemical messengers. What are the chemical messengers? The development of the most animals commences with the fertilization and the subsequent division of the zygote. Further development then depends on the continued proliferation, and zygote is formed, then proliferation occur, then growth occur, then differentiation occur. These are such steps that are for the development of the animals. First of all, fertilization occurs, then zygote is formed, then proliferation of cells, and growth and differentiation occurs. These are the steps for the most animals development. For their development, the integration of these events, as well as communication and coordination of physiological process such as metabolism, respiration, excretion, movement, and reproduction, depends of the chemicals messengers. For this purpose is all the purposes like the physiological processes messengers are required. These may be the chemical messengers, like they are specialized cells and synthesize and secrete the material or action for the you can say they secrete the stimulus, or for which and response hormones are produced out as a response. Chemical messengers can be categorized as local chemical messengers, neurotransmitter, neuropeptides, hormones, and pheromones. So how they act? Local chemical messengers, how they act? And they are short distance local messengers and adjacent cells. So individual nerve cells secrete the transmitters that cross the cleft. Okay, next are the neuropeptides. These are the individuals that also secrete neuropeptides, and the regulatory cells are the hormones, and the pheromones are the regulatory cells for the secret that leave and the body and stimulate the target of the other animals. So for you can say for the smell, pheromones are present. Local chemical messengers are as we already discussed that the chemical messengers were local chemical messenger, neurotransmitter, neuropeptides, and hormones or pheromone. But there is local transmitters also, like these are you can also say these are local chemical messengers. Many cells secrete chemicals that alter physiological conditions in the immediate vicinity. So they immediately secrete out, and then condition may be changed, maybe a response produced quickly. Most of these chemicals act on the adjacent cells and do not accumulate in the blood. Vertebrate examples include lumens and histamine. Lumens, Some of the chemicals that hormones that the gut produces and the help regulate the digestion. So hormones are the for the regulate the digestion. They are present in the gut. For the wound, in the wound cells secrete a substance called histamine. These are participating in the inflammatory response. So inflammation produce, and so the wound become heal after some time. Neurotransmitters and what are the neurotransmitters? Neurotransmitters are the neurons that are neurons secrete the chemicals that are immediately target cells and act on the adjacent target cells called neurotransmitters. These chemical messengers reach highly concentration in the cleft palate and cleft synaptic cleft. They act quickly and they're actively degraded and recycled. For example, nitric oxide, acetylcholine, norepinephrine. These are the neurotransmitters. These are secreted by the neurons. Neuropeptides are the specialized neurons as secreted by the body that by the neurosecretory cells or neurohormones that are secreted by the neuropeptides. The blood or other body fluid transport neuropeptides to the adjacent cells. In mammals, they are also produced by the action on the hypothalamus. In response to this, oxytocin is produced for the contraction of the delivery of the offspring. Also produces in that case produces these hormones are produced. Hormones are the and these are neuropeptides are produced. Hormones are the endocrine glands or cells secrete the hormones that in the bloodstream act on the transported into the adjacent cells and transported to the adjacent cell. Endocrine glands also secrete the hormones directly into the duct. The site of action is different from the site of endocrine hormone. Secretion of endocrine different hormone for the different targeted cells. These are, you can say, targeted cells. Pheromones are the chemical messengers released to the exterior of one animal that affect the behavior of the another same species. That were all for the today.